I'm resident of Colorado for YouTube, Joel Sains. I'm joined by my buddy Patrick McCray, my buddy Alan Gallant. We're here to review Dirty Work, directed by Bob Saget, written by Frank Sebastiano, Norm MacDonald, Fred Wolf, produced by Robert Simmons,
Yep.
starring Norm MacDonald. Jack Warden is here. Artie Lange is here. Traylor Howard is
Artie
here.
Lang.
Yes. Don Rickles is here. Christopher
Mhm.
McDonald, Chevy Chase, and a slew of cameos, uncredited, actually, some of them. Guys, I did pick this movie. We've been doing sentimental movies. This has some sentimentality
Yeah, it's a
to it.
good
But
antidote.
it's a feel-good movie.
It is a
because
feel-good
it's
movie.
funny, and it is a feel-good movie. It's two complete idiots finding their way in the world and absolutely managing to do it. So
And it has that heartwarming, quote unquote, heartwarming Saturday Night Live trope of, and if I ever did a parody of Saturday Night Live movies,
yeah,
I would do this. You have two schmucks with obnoxious schmucks with a wacky idea, and an elderly relative of one kind or another is in
yes,
trouble and is going to lose everything.
yes,
So they have to. You sound like Roger Ebert giving an introduction. Going to lose everything if they can't make it in 24 hours or whatever.
right. And in order to make it non-incel, they have a sort of a vague love interest that shows up.
Yeah, women are inexplicably
Yeah.
attracted to these men.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I like, yeah,
Sad.
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, they're good at pranking people or just getting revenge on people by performing pranks, which is part of the plot. I love this movie
But
so
they
much.
stumble into it. It's not like they were planning it at all.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Stumble
true.
into it.
Uh, they do stuff like too, right? Oh my God. The bar fight scene is funny. This is Chris Farley's last film appearance before his passing, before he dies, unfortunately. But
It's
Gary Coleman in the car ride after
He's
the
amazing.
brownies experiment thing is
yes.
hilarious. Adam Sandler is the devil. My God. Uh, just,
I bet when people saw Adam Sandler as the devil, they went out and rented Little Nicky
Little
for
Nicky.
days.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also Christopher McDonald is the bad guy, Travis.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about Christopher McDonald because I know that I've seen him in a million other things, always playing this character, I think.
Mhm.
Except
What else has he
sometimes he's
done?
playing it straight, and other
Yeah.
times he's playing it like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where do we know him from?
Well,
He-
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he was the villain in Happy Gilmore.
Yep.
So he's been around a bunch of movies. Hold on, I'm getting his name popped up. Where are you, dude? Go
And
ahead, Alan.
he's in the sequel too. So
Yeah,
So what?
the crappy Gilmore sequel.
Oh, Happy. Okay, yeah, I didn't
He's
hear
in
that.
the sequel.
yeah.
Let's see. He was in Grease too.
Okay,
He was one of the T-Birds.
I'm sure.
He was in Thelma and Louise playing.
I thought that was Brad Pitt.
Gene. Well, yes, that was Brad Pitt,
He was
but
in at least one of them.
he was he played the former fiance of Gina Davis's character.
All right, yeah.
He played Ward Cleaver in the film adaptation of Leave It to Beaver in '97.
Did he?
Yes, he
That
did.
makes me want to see it.
Yeah. He voiced Kent Mansley in The Iron Giant.
Okay.
One of my favorite animated films of all time.
Yeah.
Requiem for a Dream. He's in that.
Okay. Funny man again.
Yeah. Grumpy Old Man, Flubber, Rumor Has It, About Last Night. He's in a lot of comedies. Television, done a ton of stuff. Family Law, Harry's Law, Good Advice, Cracking Up, Fox, a couple of Fox ones and CBS ones. And he's never stopped working. He played Jack Barry in Quiz Show that you probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you need a guy who looks like he has a slight thyroid condition.
Yeah, and could be mistaken for somebody that has a lot to hide.
Yeah. Well, he's the poor man still in Baker.
Yeah.
He was also the karate master in Sidekicks.
Yeah. Yep.
Ah,
Yep.
yeah. But doesn't he remind you of Dylan Baker a little bit?
A little bit. Yeah. He's kind of
Those
got that
eyes.
affectation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Thinking
Well,
about
I guess that's it. I want to talk about another phenomenon, and that is the Saturday Night Live movie that stars someone who's pretty damn funny, and they never do another Saturday Night Live type movie, such as Dennis Miller in Bordello of Blood.
yeah.
Take the
Yes.
politics out
Yeah.
and just look at him in the movie as his vampire hunter.
Right.
He's really good. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
It is. Did you know though, a lot of those things that you see in the movie are all Dennis Miller. He tore
Sure.
up the script for that movie and wrote it as a comedy.
Great.
Yeah.
If I'd been
Good.
Citizen Gale, I would have thanked him.
Yeah, he was. I love that movie, so you ain't gonna get no argument from
I
me.
do too. That movie is I think is a cosmic John Bar hinge. You know what a
Mm,
John Bar hinge is? It's a specific point in history where things could have gone one of two ways.
Okay.
And had critics gotten their heads out of their ass and decided to have a good time that night, the movie would have gotten a great review because
Right.
movie. I've seen
But
just
they,
critics' darlings that are just as bad, good, whatever.
yes, but what happened was is the critics went into it with a misapprehension that it was going to be a Dracula.
Yes. Oh, yeah. They wrote the review
yeah.
before they even saw the movie.
Yeah.
And had they given it a good review and had Dennis Miller, who I get the idea is somewhat insecure as an actor, gotten positive feedback, we would have had an entirely different
Dennis Miller today, right? Yes.
He'd be
Yes.
doing Bill Murray type stuff.
Yes. Yeah, it's possible.
You know, he'd be
Possible.
in the Wes Anderson movies.
Yeah.
It's such a face, and it aged so well to go into the sort of Steve Carell type comedies.
Yes. Well, I mean, he's a little younger than Murray, but he's aged way better than Murray. I mean, Murray is kind of like he's sort of pleasantly falling apart, you know.
Yes.
So
yes, and held together by the glue of personality.
Yes.
And the fear of pissing him off.
That's right. That's right.
So this movie was filmed at Wycliffe College. Wycliffe College, sorry, and elsewhere around Toronto, Ontario, Canada in 1997. The film was produced for an estimated $13 million. In his first appearance on the Howard Stern Show on September 18, 2008, Chevy Chase discussed the film's production and release with Artie Lange. According to Chase, he was impressed by the original script's raunchy R-rated over-the-top tone, particularly filmed but ultimately cut gag involved Mitch and Sam delivering donuts that had been photographed around their genitals.
Of course. It's like the old dick in a box trick, right?
But you're not there.
The hookers in the trunk, the dead hookers.
That was an awesome joke. That was just, I mean, that was so freaking sophomorically hilarious, you know. Yeah. And then having Norm do it, because you know, other comedians would probably just go freaking nuts with it, and he doesn't at all. He's just like, oh, look, there's another hooker in a trunk. Oh, you know. Yeah. Which is his genius. That was his genius, his timing, his observational timing of everything.
I like when he did the news too. He was the whole OJ thing.
Yeah,
all over that.
That's what got him fired from SNL, because he wouldn't stop doing it. He kept doing it week after week after week.
What happened? What was this?
The thing that got Norm fired from SNL was he refused to stop doing O.J. Simpson shit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Weekend Update, and they just kept writing stuff and doing it, and finally, Lorne just I guess he started sweating bullets. He was afraid he was going to get sued or something, and fired him.
That's a tremendous shame.
Yeah.
But it created a great moment of TV history.
Mm.
Yeah, I thought his weekend updates were amazing.
Yeah.
They told so much truth. I mean, when you have a weekend update that makes Weekend Update wince.
Yeah, and
You're onto
it's his attitude too. It's very matter of fact in a lot of ways, with those pauses in there that just, and then all of a sudden the hilarity, the absurd comes out of his mouth. Dennis Miller was really good at sarcasm, really good at sarcasm and the eye roll and all of that sort of thing. He was fabulous with that. But Norm had this other sort of, it's an everyman quality, but there's a genius behind it.
Sure. There's, well, and then there's, I think it was when he was on the Saget roast. Comedy Central was sweating bullets. He didn't know
what he was going to do. That's right.
He came out because I think maybe on the prior roast, Gottfried got up and did the Aristocrats.
Yes.
So the whole thing was bombing, and so I'll do the Aristocrats, and that drove Comedy Central crazy. And then they had Norm Macdonald, who didn't give a shit about anything.
No.
And except human values.
Yeah.
And got up and did painfully wholesome humor.
Yeah.
But he never rolled his eyes at the wholesome humor.
No, he just did it knowing that eventually everybody's going to get what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was it. And I mean, that comedy at the sake of comedy, conceptual level like that, is comedy to be treasured and preserved.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's the good stuff. This movie is the thing I like about this movie is it's extremely good natured. It's moronic in a way that this kind of comedy should be. This silly, stupid stuff that these guys do. And Artie Lang would be wasted if you didn't do silly, stupid stuff with him, because he's really good at it. But it's also really good natured about the whole thing. It's not. There's nothing. There's not an iota of cruelty or meanness in this film.
Strangely enough, there really isn't. I don't know how they pull that off.
Yeah.
But there isn't, and of course they do the Night of the Opera construction well, in bad guys, and you make the bad guys so terrible.
Yeah.
You don't care what happens to them.
Right, and the effort is noble, always noble, though.
Yeah.
Even in its moronic, assumptions, it's noble. And also, you also got this critic that thinks the whole thing's brilliant. As a sort of a alternative viewpoint of what's going on. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. But now, who is the woman? I got a name drop again. Who is the woman who played the grandmother? The Catherine's or Kathleen or whatever her name, her mother.
Yeah.
Or grandmother, something like that.
Yeah, the one that he thinks is a madam.
Madam, yeah.
Yeah. Hold on a second here. Let me see.
She winds up with Jack Warden.
Yes, and Jack Warden in this movie also is he's freaking hilarious.
He's so good.
He is freaking good. He knew exactly the trope character that he was. From the get-go. There was no problem with that. Let's see. Kay Hawtrey, Gladys. Is it Gladys?
It looks like a Gladys.
Yeah, I think so. I think her name is Kay Hawtrey, and I don't know her. I've seen the face before, but
a million times.
Yeah.
A lot of TV work, a lot of commercials.
Yeah.
The first time I lived in Burbank, which was in 1991. I had a job for 10 minutes at Universal. And the first time I lived in Burbank, I was in a grocery, and there she was in the checkout line beside me.
Uh-huh.
And it was a meta-dramatic moment, because who did she play on television but the woman in the grocery next to you?
Yeah.
That's what you cast her for.
Yeah.
And there she fucking was.
You must have had that experience more than once in Burbank.
There long enough.
Yeah.
But I wish I had. My second close encounters, even after I was working with celebrity, they didn't. It doesn't count if you're working like around them. You have to run into them. Was Patch?
Oh yeah.
Patch from Days of Our Lives. Well,
yes.
I think he flirted with me. I'm not certain.
Yeah. He was actually a pretty cool dude on that show.
I was just a slip of a lad.
Yes.
He was reading for John Sheridan. Babylon 5. He was one of the many actors who read for John. Sometime I can do a whole list of actors I saw, either their names on a list or I saw come in and read for that part. You'd be amazed.
I think at one point I remember on Days of Our Lives, he took the patch off, and that lasted a while, and then he put it back on again, and the character popularity went back up.
Sure.
Yeah. It's just something that simple.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you go sort of Snake Plissken look. By the way, completely unrelated, there's now, I think they finished it on YouTube. There's one of these illegal AI made Star Wars movies, which if you haven't seen these, really pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, just in the past month and a half that they've been doing them, the acting has improved unbelievably. And they got a new one called Beggar's Canyon, which is Shadows of the Empire, that book that came out in 97.
Sure.
And there's a Han Solo-like character, because it takes place in between Jedi and Empire, in between those. And so they had to have a Han Solo-like character, Dash Rendar, that they tried to build the franchise around. But they even cast real actors, quote unquote real actors, the images of real actors, voices of real actors, the parts. So you've got the guy that Han Solo used to hang around, and it's off topic, but the guy Han Solo used to hang around, guess who plays, who's like the Uber Solo? Guess who they get to play him? Kurt Russell.
Oh, no kidding.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. Yeah, because he goes back with Leia even further.
Yeah.
He's the guy Leia hired to find Han Solo.
Right.
All of this stuff that just rubs Luke the wrong way. It's really pretty good. I've watched 2 or 3 of the installments of it. Worth your time.
Okay. Cool.
I'll check it out. What's some of you guys' favorite scenes in this movie?
Oh, every time the stunt norm gets thrown across the friggin' city hall steps. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Again, it's that kind of movie. I love the scene where he totally destroys the used car guy. The live feed where all the hookers pop out of the trunks, and so all the trunks pop up and you see the hookers. I love that scene. It's fabulous. It's not overdone. I don't know you could overdo it the way they did it. I mean, you could probably go on for another 20 minutes having trunks popping open with hookers coming out of them, because it was just done really well. And then at the end of it, it's perfect. He gets the telephone number for their little revenge business in before they cut the camera off. It's like,
it's the button.
Yes, it is the button.
And I forget what the button on the gag was, but it was a good one. In the shootout. Oh, okay. For me, it's the shootout that you hear, you don't see, and they realized
yes,
jokes can have horrible consequences.
Yes,
horrible, and they get so much out of just reacting. Which, I played Peter Quince. I know that's where the big laughs are.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Nick Bottom. Let him do all the work.
Right.
It's in fuming next to him. And that scene, shit, that was funny. And it just goes on and screaming horrible things that you just imagine. And you never see the gore.
You hear the gore because they, instead of going out the back door, they decide to go through the carnage. Yes. And you hear the squishing of the shoes as they're going through the carnage.
And the horrified neighbor who hired them.
Yeah, it's like, can we get paid now?
The money, yeah.
That for me, highlight of the movie.
That's awesome. It is. That's pretty awesome. Also, the aside Artie has to to Norm when they're first talking to the villain, and he's got his little dog,
Yeah.
and he's like, they're going, well, we could do it at $50,000, right. Hey, by the way, there's no way he's not doing that dog.
Yeah.
And then back into, oh yeah, $50,000.
Jack Warden's like, hey, did you bring me a hooker? No.
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 And I mean, Jack Warden must have been like, I'm up for anything kind of an actor. Because
Yeah.
he did a lot of comedies,
Yeah.
but in his underwear with a horned hat on, the whole damn thing was chasing the lead soprano around the stage,
Yeah.
asking her to get laid and all this other shit. Man, oh man, that must have been a hell of a set.
And it, especially I love the use of color in the movie. It reminds me of the design of a happier era.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a wonderful vacation in the pre 9/11 world.
Yeah, it's 90s, man. It's there's an optimism about it, a goofiness about it that is unbridled. There's no there's no dark underpinning here,
Yeah, we could have comedy. We could have a low budget comedy, which this was released. Major sense. See the name MGM in front of it, and all of that, and feel good about that. So
indeed,
bring those days back.
Yeah, I agree. We're gonna run it in the theater. We're gonna run it in the theaters for 3 months, and then we're gonna put it on a VHS tape, and we're gonna rent the shit out of it, and people are gonna love it. So
that's right. What do you guys give this movie? Scale 1 to 10.
This is a 10 goofball kind of silly comedy.
10. Straight 10. Everybody.
Yeah, I was so happy when you put this movie out there.
I know.
I had never seen it before. I have to say,
it was either going to be this or Airplane. But I picked this.
Airplane's good though too.
Yeah.
Get ready. We'll talk for hours on that.
No, it's free on Tubi.
We'll do another thing that's free on Tubi, Jewel, is Welcome to the Dollhouse.
Okay.
And that's a movie well worth talking about.
Well, do you want to do? Well, I know we're all taking turns, so we'll do Breakthrough Sunday, and we'll let Alan pick after that, and then after that we'll do Dollhouse after that.
Okay,
cool.
Okay, I'll see you guys Sunday. Is there anything you guys want to add before we go?
No, I got a thing with Alan. I got to.
Okay.
Yep.
Patrick, suggest a book cover, dude. Suggest a book cover.
Absolutely. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Sorry.
Got some static there. Didn't
sorry.
Understand what you said.
It's just a publishing question. That's okay.
Yeah, probably. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway.
So what are we doing again on Sunday?
Strange Brew.
Strange Brew for Sunday. See you guys Sunday. Link to Patrick McCray's Dark Shadows Day book about it's going to be in the description box. Link to Alan Gallant to each other. Collins Port After Dark will be in the description box. Go check them out.
Collins
you guys have a safe night. Take care.